Hey, what's up guys, it's Jake the Metalhead, and before we get this video started, I found out, I think 10 minutes after recording this video that Ozzy had passed away, and this is days after he passed, but still I felt the need to put something here as a tribute and as a little payment of respect. So, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Metal probably would not be where it is today, and probably would not have been created as early as it was if it wasn't for Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. So yeah, rest in peace to an absolute legend. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, test the new mic. Test the new mic. Test, test, test. Was this intro necessary? Yes, this is what happens when you give me a fucking microphone. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jake the Met. Oh, shit. Hold up. All right, much better. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jake the Metalhead, and right now, on top of this review, this is officially the evolution of Jake the Metalhead. I am officially now like every other YouTuber who has their living room or bedroom as a background, or either just has a green screen as their background, who breaks a rule of proper filming and has their mic clearly in frame rather than just out of frame or on their desk or something like that, and who just gets in front of the camera and yaps about a subject for 20 minutes that is probably not going to be cared about in 20 minutes from now. So yeah, I'm officially every other YouTuber. Listen, I needed good audio. Don't fucking come for me, please. But more importantly, today we are reviewing the Superman movie. Now, the reason I wanted to review this one before I go somewhat headfirst into metal reviews and all that stuff is because on top of being a massive music nerd, I'm also a massive Marvel and DC nerd. And yeah, I wanted to get my 2 cents in on it. And yeah, I figured it'd be a fun video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So first thing to start off, there has been a lot of chatter about this online, most of which gets into politics, and that of which I'm going to attempt to try and stay out of as much as possible, due to the fact that this is going to become a complete clusterfuck of a video, and my comment section is going to be an absolute war zone if I do so. So yeah, I am going to attempt to stay out of the political shit as much as possible. But from what I've seen from the chatter online, it seems that mostly either everybody loves this movie or absolutely hates it. And there's a couple of people who are more in the middle of it, where it's like it's not the best movie on the planet, but they still really had fun with it and really liked it and had a good time with it and all that shit. And I'm gonna be fully real. I really did fucking love this movie. So yeah, just a heads up, this might be a little more biased of a video. So yeah. Also a bit disclaimer. Also a bit of a disclaimer. I'm going to be getting into a little bit of spoilers. I'm not gonna fucking go into like the entire fucking movie or anything like that, because that of which is going to involve having to use some footage. And I'm going to try and use as little footage as possible, so this way Warner Bros. Doesn't absolutely fucking slam this video with copyright claims. So with that, I am just going to give you a heads up right now. I am going into slight spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, I'll just give you my score right now. 8.5 to a 9 out of 10 for me personally. I had a really fun time with it, and I am really excited to see where this universe goes. So if you don't want to be spoiled, now's your chance to leave the video. And yeah, that's my score overall, is just a 9.5, 8.5 to a 9 out of 10 for me personally. So give it a second. Okay, spoiler time, bitch. Let's go. So, first of all, just before we get into spoilers, I want to go over the acting because Jesus fucking Christ, the acting in this movie was great. The big highlights for me were Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, uh, Eddie Gathegi, I believe is how you say that. Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern, and Rachel Bronson. Rachel Bronson. Okay. And Nathan I still didn't fucking get it. Come on. And Rachel Bronson as Lois Lane. They fucking knocked it out of the park. I like how Lois Lane was written to be a little more intelligent and wasn't just like the damsel in distress and all that. And just the girl that Superman saves and just Superman's girlfriend. I like how she wasn't one dimensional. And also, speaking of one dimensional, I should have known better because James Gunn doesn't really do one dimensional characters. But I was kind of afraid that Mr. Terrific was going to be a little more one dimensional. But that's also just due to the fact that they just showed little to none of him in the trailers. So, yeah, I guess that was where my fear came from. But Mr. Terrific was fucking insane. And while I don't really agree with people who say, oh, he carried the movie and all that stuff, because everybody did such a damn good job to where nobody really carries this movie, I will say I see where those people are coming from because Mr. Terrific was just, I'm going to fucking hurt myself, terrific. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was absolutely insane in this movie. He was really freaking good. He played Lex Luthor basically perfectly, especially better than like Jesse Eisenberg, in which like Nicholas Hoult goes a little more into a more temperish and like more angrier version of Lex rather than a more reserved version of Lex, which I feel like is how he is a little more in the comics, is a little more reserved and is still like a genius level supervillain, but like is a little more reserved and doesn't let his anger come out too often, like how he does here. But regardless, I still think he did a really good job. And it's also the fact of like the only things that I've seen him in have been X-Men First Class and The Menu. And X-Men First Class, he plays like one of the nerdier versions of Beast, where he's like kind of like stuttering a little bit and like is a little more of like a nerdier version up until he gets his full mutation. And then in The Menu, he plays a little more of like a fanboyish type character. And like, it's weird seeing him from only two movies and seeing them both play like more nerdier versions of characters, going from those to playing a super villain who is somewhat temperamental or has a genius level intellect and is a bigger hater than Kendrick Lamar, to the point where when he loses to Superman, spoiler alert, who the fuck saw that coming, he gets so emotional and gets so wrapped up in his envy and his hatred and anger towards Superman that he starts shedding fucking tears. I'm not gonna lie, that scene fucking got me. I was not expecting that. That was a nice little touch. But yeah, I thought he did a really good job. And also, there was a criticism that Jeremy Jahns had in his spoiler talk to where like they don't fully explain where his hatred for Superman comes from, which like they were saying throughout the movie, and Lex was saying throughout the movie, that he hates metahumans, despite the fact that he cloned a metahuman and developed another one himself. He hates metahumans, and they even say in the opening text before Superman gets thrown down to the snow, like they even say that like 3 years prior to the events of this movie, that Superman came out and said that he is, well, not said, but like he was proclaimed to be the most powerful metahuman of all. So like if you use your brain for a second, no offense, but if you use your fucking brain for a second, then like you can kind of piece together that if somebody is saying that this dude is the most powerful metahuman of all, that's going to be your number one target. And I think it's also the fact that he's so envious and such a negative person that seeing this goody two shoes as Superman is going to hit you some kind of fucking way. So, yeah, I think if you piece together shit and like just do a little bit of puzzle solving with context clues, I think you can figure out why Lex Luthor hates Superman so much. Who haven't I touched on yet? Oh, yeah. Hey, Future Jake again. So I completely forgot to go over David Cornsworth as Superman, like an absolute dumbass. So, yeah, just wanted to get on here real quick and just say he did a damn good job as Superman and he did great with what he was given. And, yeah, just did a really damn good job as the more Boy Scoutish Superman, like how he is in most of the comics. So, yeah, just wanted to mention that real quick. David Cornsworth did a great job as Superman, and I would be happy to see him again. The person who I keep fucking saying instead of Nicholas Hoult, Nathan Fillion as. Are you fucking kidding me? I go all this way, so many takes, confusing Nicholas Hoult for this man, and yet when I start saying his name and saying who he's playing as, I fucking pause. This is my fucking brain. This is my fucking brain in action, people. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern was really good, and like I didn't know too much about Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. Excuse me. I didn't know too much about Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, but I do think that they did a really good job because, like, at the very least, from the little bit that I've seen of Guy Gardner before this movie, I kind of figured he's supposed to be the more arrogant, cocky, and douchey Green Lantern compared to Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So, like, I knew that's what I was possibly going to get with this Green Lantern. And also, like, I just had to point this out real quick. I was seeing like a couple of people online saying of being like, oh my God, they messed up Hal Jordan. Yeah, I got fucking news for you, buddy. That's not fucking Hal Jordan. This is Guy Gardner. I'm so fucking stupid. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Nathan Fillion did such a good job in this role, and he delivered with being the more arrogant and cocky and just absolute douchebag Green Lantern. And he has most of the comedic scenes in this movie. And yeah, he made me laugh my ass off a couple of times. Him and Mr. Terrific. Like, those two are like two of the best side characters in this movie, and I absolutely love it. I hope they both come back for a Justice League movie, and I really hope that they are used more in this new DC universe because they were so freaking good. And especially due to the fact of like, I barely knew anything about either of them, especially Mr. Terrific. I knew damn near nothing about Mr. Terrific other than I've seen the face, I've seen the costume. I kind of knew that he had the T-spheres that acted as his like main attacks and all that stuff, but like I didn't know exactly how they worked in combat and all that stuff. And then he just absolutely demonstrated exactly what happened in the main combat scene that he's in. And yeah, bring back Mr. Terrific. Speaking of great side characters, Jimmy Olsen, I again hope this dude comes back because they did really good with him. And who played Olsen again? Skylar Gisondo. I really hope I'm fucking saying that right. What was he in? Oh shit, he was in Halloween? Who the fuck was he in Halloween? Tommy Doyle. Oh, wait, that was him? God damn. Good shit. Good fucking track record. I need to preface this as the 2007 Halloween, in which I actually didn't mind that, but to be fair, I'm also a massive, well, not massive, but like I am a Rob Zombie fan, so like I got what I was expecting from a Rob Zombie movie. But yeah, Skylar Gisondo did a really good job with him. And also, like, just the whole side storyline of him and Eve, like, those two on screen together were one of the funniest parts of this movie. I was laughing my ass off the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but like you get what I mean. I try to be quiet in movie theaters, okay? I try to be respectful in movie theaters. But yeah, I was just chuckling to myself the entire time, that they were on screen, basically. So, yeah, I hope he comes back as well. Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl did a really good job for like the 5 minutes that she was on screen. Yeah, I wish she was used a little bit more, but like I get like having to like cut somebody for screen time, but at the same time, she did really well with what she had to work with. She bounced off of Green Lantern really well and like had like a bunch of snarky comebacks for him, and he she did really well in the role. It was also funny because I looked up what she was in. I actually recognized her from Sicario 2, but we also found out, me and my friends that is, that she was in this old Nickelodeon movie called Dora and the Lost City, in which she played Dora the Explorer. So we were making jokes as saying that Dora the Explorer was Hawkgirl. So yeah, we can't help it. We're fucking stupid. But yeah, despite the fact that she killed President Gurkos, who is, I believe they called it Baravia in the movie, but yeah, she ends up killing him in the end and has like quite a bit of screen time, but like I don't know. Again, I wish she was used more because I thought the little bit that she had was really good and she had the potential to be like absolutely great. So, yeah. Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho was really freaking good. He played Metamorpho like really well. And again, one of those characters that I didn't really know much about, other than like I knew what he looked like, I knew who that was. I just didn't really know the character all too well. And they use him in the plot really, really well. And it's also the fact of like, again, just everybody's acting was just really freaking good in this movie. So like, yeah, they used him really well. He has a couple of like more like I guess not really emotional, but like still does like really good, and he lends to the plot really well. So yeah, again, thought he did a really good job. Frank Grillo was Rick Flag Sr. I had zero fucking clue that he was even going to be in this movie. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised when I saw him. And yeah, like it was one of those things where like I had no idea that he was in the movie, but then he panned over to him in like the first scene he was in, and I was just like, oh shit, hey, what's up? And why did I do that? Because Frank Grillo is always a good thing to have, honestly. He's always good if you need just like a generic military guy in the background. So yeah, he played his part really well. Also, a random cameo, Jor-El, who is Superman's father, was played by fucking Bradley Cooper. Like, I'm sure I know where that came from because, like, Bradley Cooper played Rocket in the Guardians movies and James Gunn directed the Guardians movies. But yeah, it was like, what the fuck? It was so funny. I think I had heard, like, little, like, rustles that was him, like, before I saw the movie, and I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, he's in the fucking movie. And then I got there and he was Superman's dad, and I'm just like, huh, no shit. Couple more random things I want to go over in the movie. They introduced Supergirl in the movie. And at first, I was a little hesitant because like they made her a little more of like the party girl type character and all that shit. I don't know what the fuck this was, but like still, you get the point. But yeah, she's the more party girlish character, and like I was a little hesitant with it, but I kind of accepted it because James Gunn can do a really good job of making more comedic characters have serious moments and have them have serious character arcs. And on top of that, I also looked into it a little bit more after I saw the movie. Apparently, this is actually a storyline from the comics to where like she is the older cousin of Kal-El. Kal-El, why the fuck did I give him his government name? Where she's the older cousin of Superman who went to Earth when she was first a teen. And obviously, Superman got sent to Earth when he was a baby once Krypton exploded. So he didn't really like experience the same grief that she did, to where like he has the more hopeful outlook and she has the more depressed, drunk, I'm gonna go just party my pain away type character type shit. So yeah, I found out that was like an actual storyline from the comics, and from the looks of it, it looks like that's how that's going to play out. And Yeah, I am absolutely down if this is how it's going to go. Crypto, I know there were a couple of complaints about crypto. Admittedly, most of those complaints are from my dad, but like there were complaints that they made crypto a smaller dog. But like I think it makes a little more sense due to the fact of like she ends up being Supergirl's dog. She he ends up being Supergirl's dog at the end of the movie and not Superman. And Superman even says it's a more of like an adoptive type situation. And he's more of just more or less dog watching. So yeah, it ends up being a thing with that. And I think it makes a little more sense in that regard. And also, like, I know James Gunn just does stupid shit. So, like, I don't really mind that at all. So, yeah. But to the biggest complaint that I've seen is that, like, James Gunn kind of, like, the complaint is that, like, he, like, throws in jokes at more emotional moments instead of letting them play out. And, like, I didn't really see that unless I'm just being dumb and not really reading into it. But like, I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't really see it too much, mainly due to the fact of like, I also didn't really mind the fact of like not letting the emotional moments play out, especially due to the fact of like, this is supposed to be a more lighthearted Superman. So I was kind of expecting a somewhat more lighthearted movie. And like, again, I just don't know how to explain it. I just didn't really fucking see it. It's like when you go into the chatter online about some superhero movies and also Star Wars movies, where you go into the chatter and a lot of it is just like, oh my god, they made it well, da, 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 da. And then you go and see the movie for yourself, or at least this is for me, and I don't see any of that shit just because I don't go into every single movie looking for political shit because I'm just not that big of a political person. So I don't know. There's just some shit that I just don't fucking pay attention to, and that's just one of them. I guess if you really want to count a more comedic scene, then like I guess it's in like the part where Superman and Lois are doing their like little second sit down and talk, like right before Superman turns himself in, and like he's drinking hot cocoa and he's just like, oh my god, it's so good. And I'm just and like I can see it with that, and also like with him talking about crypto being not a very good dog. But like again, like I think the emotional moments in this movie were investing enough for me personally to where I kind of just disregarded the jokes. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the joke not landing for me. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. And maybe also with like some of the funnier moments that are in the first argument with Superman and Lois. But like if you've been in an argument and you think back to some of the stuff you said, like or you see or if you're overseeing an argument, some stupid funny shit is said in an argument sometimes. Like I don't know how to fucking explain it. So yeah, I just don't see that much validity in that criticism. And also, there's also another criticism that I saw mainly in Jeremy Johnson's video, where it's like there's like an overuse of CGI, which like I'm not too bothered by it because all of the CGI was really well done in this. And even then, like it's a superhero movie. Practical effects are only going to get you so far. Specifically with more powerful beings like Superman, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, like fucking practical effects are only going to get you so far. And he was also saying when Lex Luthor invaded the Fortress of Solitude that when the fucking blades from the engineer went past his head to get the robot and it split in half and all the sparks and all that stuff, trying to say that it wasn't badass. Suspend your fucking disbelief for a second. That's fucking badass. So yeah, much like most of the recent videos on this channel, this is a thing that gets me a little fired up. So I don't know. Can't really explain it. So yeah, that's my review of Superman. Like I said, I give this movie an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. And full disclosure, I've seen this thing fucking 3 times already. So yeah, and I'm hoping to see it again because I really dug it. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. If Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Later. Peace.